Guess who's back? STEVIE DVD in VR 4K HD, UHD and 360. I've been asked recently, how do I set up an orbit on Litchi, and is it easy? So I'm going to show people how easy it is to set up an orbit on Litchi app. Basically, you've got some icons up the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You've got 7 icons. They all do individual bits and pieces. Waypoints, flying, follow mode, focus, panorama, pictures and track. Now the one I've highlighted is the orbit button, which is blue. You click on the orbit button. You zoom in on your map. The area you want to orbit. I've done an orbit on Bromley, so I'm going to just pick a marker. Picked my marker that I want the orbit to fly around. Now click on the blue marker and it'll come up with the individual settings for that flight. I've got the altitude. I've got that set as 100. You can change that. I'm going to try and mimic the settings that I did for my 500 meter orbit. Radius 500 meters. You can change that. Now the speed is quite important. You've got to look and see the time of the flight, because your battery might not last and it might come home halfway through the orbit. So you want to double check your speed. It's done in degrees per second, and I believe I had mine on 12. It was 12 minutes flight I had when I did that one. It did actually start going round again, because in this orbit mode it won't do an orbit and then finish once it gets back to the start finish. It will carry on going round orbiting again, so bear that in mind when you're doing your orbit. Now you can select the entry point to this circle. So I've got it from the nearest point entry, so wherever I'm standing, the nearest point to that orbit, it will jump onto that yellow line and then start cruising round. You can make it face the centre of the orbit, or you can make it face outwards. You can make it face backwards the way it's flying, or forwards. It's a great app, definitely worth the money. People keep putting it down, but I'm sorry, the options I've now got for my DJI Mini 2 have just doubled. The actual Mini 2 in my eyes has gone up in value just because of this app. Direction, you can pick what direction you want to go around, clockwise or anti-clockwise. I've got it on clockwise. And gimbal control mode, auto on manual. You can change that, and you can do it yourself. And the subject height, the blue marker, is it going to be looking directly at the ground, or did you want it to look up a bit at the horizon and have the bit of the horizon in the background? You can take this to minus or plus. It depends how you want it to view the orbit. You can have it facing like the concrete down and have no sky, but you'd have to put it on minus, or you could have it level where it's got a bit of the sky, landscape and buildings. But then you just press start, or you can just save it for now. So this is a good thing about this app. You can set everything up at home without even using any of the battery life of your drone. That's what I like about this. You can play around indoors and set your missions up, and you can tweak them, go out, do your flight. If it wasn't quite right, you can come home and change it again. It doesn't kill the battery power on your drone. You can just sit here and play around. But yeah, after you've done that, you can save it. And it's there forever. And that's it, done. And if you want to load it up, you pick the file folder, you click on Bromley Orbit and load, and it will load it up. Okay, that is virtually that. Like and subscribe, and happy flying.